Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. We're going to bring you a great game today as the Shawnee Mission South Raiders take on the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves. Let's meet our contestants. First from Shawnee Mission South.
Hi, I'm Max. I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Josiah. I'm a junior.
I'm John. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Jack. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Bennett. I'm a freshman.
And our contestants from Southwest.
I'm Zach. I'm a junior.
I'm Madeline. I'm a senior.
I'm Michael, and I'm a junior.
I'm Seth, and I'm a junior.
I'm Better Zach, and I am a junior.
Wow, little rivalry amongst the team there. That's awesome. All right, here on Categories in the first round, we will take turns answering questions. If a team responds incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that particular category. So we did a coin toss before we start tipping. It was won by the Raiders. So Raiders, here is the first question. The category is music. Which musical instrument is known as a licorice stick? Max.
Clarinet.
It is the clarinet. Timberwolves, your first question is literature. The great English novelist Daniel Defoe is estimated to have written 550 works of poetry, theology, economics, and geography. But his two most famous works were Robinson Crusoe and what other novel whose heroine is a repentant prostitute? Raiders, chance to steal this literature question. The great English novelist Daniel Defoe is estimated to have written 550 works of poetry, theology, economics, and geography. His two most famous works were Robinson Crusoe and what other novel whose heroine is a repentant prostitute? Moll Flanders. Moll Flanders. U.S. history, back to you, Raiders. U.S. history is the category. At his death, he bequeathed 2,000 pounds sterling to Boston and Philadelphia to be partially spent in 1890 and the rest in 1990. The proceeds were worth $6.5 million in 1990. What American had the forethought to leave this money for the future? He died April 17th, 1790. Time on that. Timberwolves, same question. The category is U.S. history. At his death, he bequeathed 2,000 pounds sterling to Boston and Philadelphia to be partially spent in 1890 and the rest in 1990. The proceeds were worth $6.5 million in 1990. What American had the forethought to leave this money for the future? He died April 17th, 1790. Seth.
Ben Franklin.
It is Ben Franklin. Back to you, Timberwolves. Math, specifically symbols. A short line over another makes up the equal sign. What does the sign mean if you put a third squiggled line on top of Zach N?
An approximate value.
I cannot accept that. Raiders, a chance to steal this math symbols. A short line over another makes up an equal sign. What does the sign mean if you put a third line or third squiggled line on top of the two lines in the equal sign? Max.
Congruency.
Congruent is what we were looking for. Back to you, Raiders, with vocabulary. What Latin phrase refers to the existing condition or state of affairs? John.
Status quo.
Status quo. Southwest, back to you with general knowledge. Food. What meat is traditionally served with Yorkshire pudding? Seth?
Lamb.
Cannot accept lamb. Raiders, chance to steal this general knowledge food category. What meat is traditionally served with Yorkshire pudding? It is roast beef. Roast beef. Raiders, back to you with economics terminology. Name the type of tax collected from the owners on buildings, land, business equipment, and inventory. John.
Property tax.
It is a property tax. Southwest, back to you with state flags. There are two and only two states in the United States whose flags have a shape other than a rectangle. One of them is Ohio with a double pennant-shaped flag. Name the other whose flag forms a square. Raiders, chance to steal this state flags category. There are two and only two states in the United States whose flag have a shape other than a rectangular shape. One of them is Ohio with a double pennant-shaped flag. Name the other whose flag forms a square. Alabama. Raiders, back to you with world geography this time. North, South, and Stewart Islands form the three principal islands of what country? Timberwolves, chance to steal this world geography category. North, South, and Stewart Islands form the three principal islands of what country? Zach S.
Wales.
It's not Wales, it's New Zealand. Back to you, Timberwolves, with fine arts, painting. Vincent van Gogh's favorite color dominates many of his landscapes. What color is it? Madeline.
Blue.
It's not blue. Raiders, chance to steal this fine arts painting category. Vincent van Gogh's favorite color dominates many of his landscapes. What is that favorite color? Max.
Yellow.
It is yellow. Back to you, South, with theater. What Gilbert and Sullivan operetta poked fun at the Queen's Navy? Timberwolves, chance to steal this theater question. What Gilbert and Sullivan operetta poked fun at the Queen's Navy? Madeline.
The Pirates of Penzance.
Cannot accept that. We're looking for the HMS Pinafore. Southwest, you do get the next question. It is current events. Name the man that has been ranked the most powerful person in the world by Forbes magazine for the second year in a row. Seth?
Putin.
Very good. Raiders, back to you. Proverbs and sayings is the category. I'll explain it prosaically, and you recite the correct proverb. Here it is. Sometimes what actually happens is more bizarre than anything that could have been imagined. Max.
Reality is stranger than fiction.
Reality or truth is stranger than fiction. Very good. Timberwolves, back to you with presidential literature. The second volume of a study of his life entitled Means of Ascent claims that his 87-vote victory in the 1948 Texas Democratic senatorial primary was a blatant steal. Who was this win-at-all-cost politician? Michael.
Richard Nixon.
It is not Richard Nixon. Raiders, chance to steal this literature or this presidential literature question. The second volume of a study of his life entitled Means of Ascent claims that his 87-vote victory in the 1948 Texas Democratic senatorial primary was a blatant steal. Who was this win-at-all-cost politician? Max.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson, very good. Coming back to you, Raiders, with Shakespearean literature. Name the twin brother of Viola in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Time on that. Southwest, chance to steal this Shakespearean literature category. Name the twin brother of Viola in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Zach S.
Sebastian.
It is Sebastian. Coming back to you, Southwest, with world languages. At last count, there were less than 100,000 people left in Scotland who spoke which ancient tongue? Michael.
Gaelic.
Back to you, Raiders. Military history quotes. Who said, compared to war, all other forms of human endeavor shrink in insignificance? God, how I love it. He also wrote a letter to his wife saying, peace is going to be hell on me. Josiah?
Is it Douglas MacArthur?
It is not MacArthur. Timberwolves. Chance to steal this military history quotes question. Who said, compared to war, all other forms of human endeavor shrink in insignificance? God, how I love it. He also wrote a letter to his wife saying, peace is going to be hell on me. Seth.
Patton.
It is Patton. Southwest, back to you with another U.S. history question, this time inventions. In 1938, a DuPont chemist invented polytetrafluoroethylene. What is it called today? Zach S.
Plastic?
It's not plastic. Raiders, chance to steal this U.S. history inventions question. In 1938, a DuPont chemist invented polytetrafluoroethylene. What is it called today? Max?
Nylon.
That is not nylon, it's Teflon. Teflon. South, we're coming back to you with a general knowledge question, this time astrology. What would your zodiac sign be if your birthday were April 1st? Max?
Aries.
Aries is correct. Timberwolves, coming over to you with European history. Which European ruler added Bavaria to his empire in 788? Raiders, chance to steal this European history question. Which European ruler added Bavaria to his empire in 788? Max?
Charlemagne.
It is Charlemagne. Raiders, next question belongs to you. It is vocabulary. A statistical compilation of the numbers of people and their ages, education, employment, income, marital status, race, and sex is commonly called what? Max?
Census.
A census. Southwest, coming back to you with sports history. What coveted sports trophy was first awarded to the Montreal Amateur Athletic Association? Michael?
The Stanley Cup?
It is the Stanley Cup. Good timing on that one. With that siren, that does denote the end of our first half. Shawnee Mission South with a score of 10, Blue Valley Southwest 6. At this part of our program, we're going to go to a member of each squad as they will give us a campus update. And first, we're going to Max. And Max, what is happening over at Shawnee Mission South?
Currently at Shawnee Mission South, we are still in the midst of our canned food drive. We fortunately had individuals from our school make district choir, band, and orchestra, and we are beginning the practice for winter showcase Miracle on 34th Street.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff. And Madeline, you are giving us the update for the Timberwolves. So what's happening at Southwest?
Currently, we are preparing for the start of winter sports, which begin next week. This last weekend, our debate team had a really good weekend, and we are still currently ranked the #1 team in Kansas. This last weekend, we also had several individuals and several group choirs place at our KMEA competition. And finally, we are preparing for our Culture Festival this week.
All right. So is the Culture Festival, is that an all-week thing, or?
No, it's just Thursday after school.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Great things happening at both schools. All right, we're getting ready for our lightning round. Traditionally here on Categories, we start our lightning round with our look and listen question, in which we will display it here in the studio. We also display it for you playing at home. The look and listen question is worth 2 points. And just a reminder to the students here that you may ring in as soon as I'm done with the question, but as soon as someone rings in, we are not able to rewind the video. We have to stop it at that point. So here we go, hands on buzzers. Martial law was instituted to suppress a student-led demonstration in this city center. Max?
Tiananmen Square.
It is Tiananmen Square. 2 points to South. We will continue with the rest of our lightning round, in which we will place a question on the floor for either team to answer. If a team does respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal. So here we go, general knowledge. What is the popular name of the Florida Everglades from Naples to Fort Lauderdale? Michael?
Alligator Alley?
Alligator Alley, right on the money. Fine arts, dance is the next category. A well-known English dance was known by the name Sir Roger de Coverley. In this country, what is the name of its American form? Seth.
Charleston.
It is not the Charleston. Raiders, chance to steal this fine arts dance category. A well-known English dance was known by the name Sir Roger de Coverley. In this country, what is the name of its American form? It's the Virginia Reel. Virginia Reel. Both squads, here we go. Media, specifically television. What do the letters SFX mean to a television director? Josiah.
Sound effects.
Sound effects. Religion for both teams. Rastafarianism is a religion originally Jamaican in origin that regards that the promised land to which all true believers will someday return. Where is that promised land? It's in Africa. In Africa. Both teams, current events is the next category. President Obama just recently authorized sending an additional 1,500 troops to what country? Michael.
Iraq.
Iraq. Geography, lakes is the next category. Manitoba has a lake bigger than Lake Ontario. What is it? Max.
Lake Superior?
Cannot accept Lake Superior. Timberwolves, chance to steal this geography lakes question. Manitoba has a lake bigger than Lake Ontario. What is it? Michael.
Lake of the Woods.
It's not Lake of the Woods, it's Lake Winnipeg. Lake Winnipeg. Vocabulary for both teams. This word can mean a way for a politician to avoid an issue or climb a hill on skis. What is it? Seth.
Ascent.
Cannot accept assent. Raiders, chance to steal this vocabulary question. This word can mean a way for a politician to avoid an issue or a way to climb a hill on skis. What is it? Josiah?
Is it backpedal?
It is not backpedal. It's close. Sidestep. Sidestep. Both teams, literature, poets. This woman won a Pulitzer Prize for her collection of poetry subtitled Love Songs. Name this St. Louis poetess. Zach S.
Maya Angelou.
It is not Maya Angelou. Raiders, chance to steal this poets category. This woman won a Pulitzer Prize for her collection of poetry subtitled Love Songs. Name this St. Louis poetess. It's Sarah Teasdale. Sarah Teasdale. Sports for both teams. What is the sport of Scottish origin where contestants heave a tree trunk some 16 to 20 feet long? It's caber tossing. Caber tossing. Got to be careful if you're watching that one. Criminal law is the next category. Larceny is a theft in which no force is used. Two types of larceny are petty and grand larceny. At what dollar amount does petty larceny become grand larceny? Zach N.
$27.
It is not $27. Raiders, chance to steal this criminal law question. Larceny is a theft in which no force is used. The two types of larceny are petty and grand larceny. At what dollar amount does petty larceny become grand larceny? John.
$50.
It's not 50, it's 100, and even 100. World history for both teams. Who was the last Tsar of Russia? John.
Nicholas II.
Nicholas II. Fine arts, drama. Who created the acting theory called the method? Zach S.
Stanislavski.
Stanislavski, very well, very good job, nice job. U.S. geography. Which national park is located in the U.S. Virgin Islands? This is the Virgin Islands National Park. I hate those questions too. All right, history, explorers. In December of 1911, Roald Amundsen outraced British explorer Seth?
The Arctic.
Cannot accept that. Sorry. Raiders, chance to steal this explorer's question. In December of 1911, Roald Amundsen outraced British explorer Robert Scott to the South Pole. When Scott arrived, he found a flag of the nation planted by his competition. Name that flag. It's Norway. Norway. Both teams, fine arts, painters. In 1550, he completed his last two frescoes, the Crucifixion of St. Peter and the Conversion of St. Paul. Name the artist. Zach S.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. U.S. history for both teams. President Lincoln called him the most meritorious man of the 19th century. This escaped slave became an important abolitionist. Seth?
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, and you've narrowed the gap a little bit here, showing South 14, Southwest 11. Sports, archery to be specific. For both teams, the feathers on the trailing end of an arrow are called what? Max?
Fletching.
Fletching, very good. We also would have accepted vanes. Math for both teams. What are the three perfect squares between 7 and 26? Seth?
9, 16, and 25.
Those are the three. Both teams, literature is the category. Ronald H. Spector's Eagle Against the Sun chronicles which country's war with which country? Eagle Against the War is the United States versus Japan, the sun. U.S. history for both teams. Name the act passed in 1887 which encouraged Indians to give up their tribal practices. Max?
The Dawes Act.
The Dawes Act. General knowledge for both teams. The Girl Scout emblem or badge is reminiscent of a clover leaf. What is such arrangement called? Zach S.
A four-leaf clover.
Cannot accept the four-leaf clover. Raiders, chance to steal this general knowledge question. The Girl Scout emblem or badge is reminiscent of a clover leaf. What is such an arrangement called? It's called a trefoil or trefoil. Geography, landforms for both questions. What makes up a landform called a barhan? Madeline?
Is it a sandbar?
It is a sandbar. World geography. Name the country which borders on this pair of waters. Mediterranean Sea and the Gulf of Suez. Oh, Seth.
Spain.
It is not Spain. Raiders, same question. World geography. Name the country which borders on this pair of waters, the Mediterranean Sea and the Gulf of Suez. John.
Egypt.
It is Egypt. Fine arts, theater is the next category. Fairly long question, so please pay attention. He takes humorous looks at such rites of passage as getting married and barefoot in the park, getting divorced like the Odd Couple, and becoming middle-aged, the last of the Red Hot Lovers. Can you name this enduring popular American playwright? It's Neil Simon. Neil Simon. Mythology for both teams. How many eyes combined do the mythical Cerberus and Polyphemus have? Bennett.
7.
7. U.S. geography. What city, whose four-letter name begins with an A, can be found in Iowa, north of Seth?
Ames.
It is Ames. Ancient history for both teams. Archaeologists believe that the Mycenaean culture was destroyed gradually by an invasion of less civilized Greek people called what? John?
Dorians.
Dorians. Nice job. Next question is a math question for both teams. A hamburger is sold for $2, which is 20% less than the regular price. What is the regular price? Seth?
$2.50.
$2.50. Very good. Spelling. How do you spell moratorium? Max?
M-O-R-A-T-O-R-I-U-M.
Moratorium. Very good. U.S. history. The Mayflower Compact was signed in November of 1620 at what cape? Zach S.
Plymouth.
Cannot accept that. Raiders, chance to steal this as time expires. U.S. history is the category. The Mayflower Compact was signed in November of 1620 at what cape? Max.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. And with that correct answer, that bumps your score to 21 and Blue Valley Southwest 15. Well played game by both squads today. Please join us again next time here on Categories as we will bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.